Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another book haul, and I have one going up today, but I filmed it quite a bit ago and I just forgot to put it up. And what reminded me is I got more books in. So the first batch of books is from Chapters, and the first one is Erica Johansson, The Queen of the Tierling. Look how great of a price that was, $7.99. It was a $45 book and I got it for $7.99. And everybody's talking about this, and it's becoming a motion picture. And I remember reading about it and really liking it, and people talk about it on YouTube. But right now, to tell you what it's about, I don't remember, but I just wanted it because it sounded really interesting and it was super cheap. So that was Chapters Online. And then I got the second book of the Shatter Me series, and it's called Unravel Me. And look how pretty the cover is. That is amazing. And I think I talked about it in the last video, but this is the second book. I think there's 4 books and a novella maybe. Or maybe that's the novella. Yeah. So the third one is Ignite Me, and then there's a bunch of novellas. So that's the second one. The third book I got, and oh my gosh, this is so awesome. It's called Six of Crows by Lee Ardugo, and it's the author of the Grisha trilogy, with which I have them coming pretty soon. But this is about a heist, and it's 6 outcasts, and they try to do a heist, and it sounds really interesting, and the book is so pretty. So I got that. Then I got this. Everybody talks about this one. It's Rainbow Rowell. It's Carry On, and they say it's like a Harry Potter kind of book. So I'm looking forward to reading it. It's fairly big, not too bad. How many pages? 520 about. That's not too bad. So that was another one that I was looking forward to getting, and I got it at Chapters. Another one I got at Chapters, and I saw a few people. I got to stop watching BookTube because if you go on BookTube and you there's a lot of people, they'll say their top 10 fantasy book, young adult fantasy book, and top 10 this and that, and I keep finding new books that sound so interesting. So this is called Graceling, and it's from Kristen Cashore. And this is about people that they can be blessed with powers, and her power is to be an assassin or a killer. So, and she doesn't want to be. And it sounded really good, so I got that at Chapters. Let me see. I got this at Chapters, Sarah Rosh, Snow Like Ashes. Again, this is a fantasy book, and it's about the seasons, I think, because it talks about winter. And it just sounds so good. I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and it's a series. I think it's going to be a trilogy maybe. And the second one is Ice Like Fire, and it's available now, but only in hardback cover. So I wanted to get the paperback because they're cheaper. And then I got the first book. I got the whole collection of this series, and it's called Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick at Book Outlet, and I think it's in what I'm going to be showing you in a minute. And they didn't have the first book, so I got the first book. So it sounds really good. Now this is Juliette Marillier, and it's Shadowfell, and again it's a fantasy book, and it's just sounded really good. Again, some people talked about it, and it's I think there's 4 books, and I think I have 2 or 3 of them. I don't have the second one, so I'll have to keep looking on Book Outlet for to see if they become available. But whenever it's at Book Outlet, it's like $3 a book. Those I paid a little bit more for because they weren't at Book Outlet, but the rest that I've got is all from Book Outlet, so it's not too bad. So this is another series, and it's the Canaan Chronicles from Amanda Hawking, and I can't remember which one's the first one. This is the first one, I think. And this is the second one. And then I know of a third one, Crystal Kingdom. So Frostfire, I think this is the first one. Anyway, there's a few books, and it sounds so good. Again, I read the synopsis when I ordered them, and again, I paid like $3 a piece, so super cheap. This is from Heather Dixon. It's called Entwined. I know it's a retelling of a fairy tale. I'm not sure which one, something about 12 princesses or something, but if it's a retelling, I'm liking it. Now, this is a trilogy, the Ruby Red trilogy, and it's from Kirsten Gear, and I only have the third book. I don't have the other two because they didn't have them, but it was super cheap because it was a scratch and dent, so it was like $2, and so I'll just wait until I can get the other ones, and I'm going to try and get them in this cover here. It's so that they all match. Now, this is The Fairy Path from Truan Jones, and this is all about fairies, and I love anything about fairies, and it's got quite a few books, and it's a nice, I think it's going to be a nice read because the wording is big, and it's not that thick, so, and since I got that, they had a few more from that trilogy, so I got them. Okay, this is book 4 in the Wicked Lovely book. So now I have 1, 2, and 4. And so it's about fairies again. So whenever they're going to have the books really cheap, I'll just be getting them. This here, I got the third book in the last haul. So I got these two. And again, super cheap. And they're both from Jennifer Albin. The first one is Cruel, the other one is Altered, and the other one is Unraveled. And it's about a girl who has different kind of powers, and she doesn't want them. And they're going to force her to go, and they're going to come and take her because she has these powers. She has the power to weave time with matter. And so anyway, it's a trilogy. So now I'm going to have all 3 books so I can start reading them. And I love the covers. This one here reminds me of the Cinder series because it's the same on the inside with the book cover kind of finishing on the side. And I just love the colors. They're so pretty. Now, I got this one, and that's the beginning of sort of a series, but I don't think each book kind of follows each other, but there's a detective that's going to be in each book, and it's The Cuckoo's Calling, Robert Galbraith. I'm pretty sure she's the author of the Harry Potter. This is her other name that she uses for writing. And this is about a detective, and this one here is he investigates a supermodel's suicide. So, and then the next one, I think it's called Silkworm, and anyway, this was super cheap, again, at Book Outlet, and look how big it is. And I just ordered the second one because it was super cheap again. So this is, I think it's a trilogy, and it's called Starling. Excuse me, from Leslie Livingston. And I can't remember what it's about now. It's a fantasy book. And I think I have all the series, or most of it. Let me just move some of this. Excuse me. Now, all these were from Book Outlet, so super cheap. I think I have enough books to read now. That's what my husband told me anyway. So this one here, for example, it's The Probability of Miracles by Wendy Wonder. And this was $1.97. And this is about a boy that is fighting cancer and stuff. And it looks like a really quick read. But $1.97, and look how pretty it is. So, super cool. Now, the other book that I showed a while ago, Shadowfell. This is this a second book? It might be. But it was available, and it's part of that trilogy or whatever it is, series. And it was super cheap because it was a scratch and dent, and it's kind of ripped there, but whatever. It's called The Collar, and it was like $3. I'm telling you, at Book Outlet, you can get some really good books for really cheap. Now, this is another series. I don't know if it's a duology or if there's more, but there's Unbreakable and Unraveling. Is that the one that... yeah, she gets hit by a pickup truck and killed. And yeah, so it's sort of the afterlife, I think. So I have the two of them that I know of. And see, this was a scratch and dent. And yeah, so it's this one first, this one second, and I don't know if there's another one after this or if it's only a duology. But oh, maybe there's another one. There's a novella. Okay. And so this was like $2 because it was kind of ripped there. But that's okay. I can still read it for $2. I'm okay with that. Now this one is super pretty. It's called Plus One by... this one was Elizabeth Norris, sorry. Unraveling and Unbreakable. This one is Elizabeth Fama Plus One. And I read the synopsis and it sounded really good. Plus I heard a whole bunch of people talking about how much they loved it. So yeah, it was super cheap. $3. And this one is Serafina by Rochelle Hartman. And this again is like a fantasy book, and yay. I'm love, and it looks like there's another book, Shadow Scale. Don't miss the breath. Yeah. So there's a second book to this. So yay. So I'll just keep watching on Book Outlet until it comes. I have enough other books to wait till it comes back. And it's a really good deal. Now these two are part of, I don't know if it's a series or it's just a duology, but the first book is Dune and then Destined for Dune, and by Carrie Corp and Lori Langdon. And this again sounded really good. Can't remember. I read the synopsis before I buy all of them, and they sound really good. So, and these again, they were, this is book 1, this is book 2, and they sounded really good. And it's hardback cover, and they were like $3 each. So I can't even get the my Kindle for that cheap, right? And this one is Far, Far Away, and this again was super cheap. This is about a quiet town, and it says that all of a sudden all heck is gonna sort of break loose. I think this was the one. It says, this is a strange and faithful tale of a boy, a girl, and an ancient ghost. Is that the one about the small town? Maybe that's not the one about the small town. There was another one that I thought it was this one. Yes, in a small town where nothing ever happens, everything is about to change. I knew I read it was this one. So anyway, it sounds really good, and it's a really cool cover. And then this one, it has to do with fairies. Oh no, this one is for thousands of years, it's always the same souls that die, but they reincarnate over and over again. And then this one here, she's new, but she had, in order for her to be born, somebody else from like an old soul had to die, so then she doesn't fit in her like society. So it sounds really good, and there's quite a few books, but they only had the first one. So what I'm going to have to do is stalk Book Outlet and keep looking for, and I love the cover, keep looking for the books. Now, they had the third book in the Morgan Road series of The Fallen Kingdom, and it's Gathering Darkness. And these books are supposed to be amazing, and it was super cheap. And the other two I have in paperback, but that's okay. I don't mind. You know, if I can get them for really cheap to read, I'm going to be happy with that. So if I can get them all the same, I will try, but I'm not going to make it so that I pay extra just to get it. Okay, so this is, let me see. Okay, so this is the Hush Hush that I showed you a while ago. This is the other three books that go with it. There's Crescendo, Finale, and Silence. So this is book 2, this is book 3, and this is book 4, and they're by Becca Fitzpatrick. So now I have the whole series, and these were all like super cheap. And so see, one of them is hardback and the rest is paperback, so that's okay. I don't mind, they're cheap. And this one here, A Monster Called by Patrick Ness, I heard a lot of people say that it's good and they cried so hard. It's about a little boy and his mother is sick, and he starts talking to a monster outside his window, or a monster shows up outside his window. Anyway, a lot of people say, and it's going to be a quick read, super quick read. So I wanted to, it was super cheap. I think it was like $2.89 or something like that. Now this sounded really good. It's called Fracture by Megan Miranda. She ends up going under the ice and dies for 11 minutes. And then they bring her back, but then she comes back with powers that frighten her. So it sounds really good. And then she meets another boy that sort of has the same powers as her. And I just love the cover. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I'm addicted, people. Addicted. So, I don't know. Yes, I showed you the first book of these, and this is book 2 and 3. I don't remember which in which order it is, but it's by Leslie Livingston. So now I think I bought all the 3 of them in one order because they had them all. And I just love the way this book is. Like I think this was a scratch and dent. So it was like $2, which it's not that bad. And again, one of them is hardback and the other are paperback, but I'm okay because super cheap. Now the last book, and it's called The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove. Oh my goodness. I gotta show you the cover. Look at that. Oh, it looks like one of those old novels. It's so pretty. And it has to do with maps, and it's in 1891. And it's like about explorers, and it says it is 1891, almost a century ago. The Great Disruption threw all the continents into different time periods, from prehistoric to the far future. It remade the world. Explorers took their lives into their own hands. Map making became a fine art, a mixture of science and magic. And I'm pretty sure this is, I think I read somewhere it was a trilogy. So let me see. think I read that. I'm pretty sure I read this was book 1. Let me see, because sometimes they have... Maybe not. I thought I saw that. It said book 1 somewhere. Yes, see, no, that's the last sentence. Maybe not. Anyway, it sounded really good. I thought I saw on Book Outlet that it said book 1, but it sounds good, and I think this is a new author, so... And it was super, super cheap. So that's it. That's all the books I got. Quite a bit. I'd say plus 30 books. And just thank you so much for watching. Bye.